Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Christy, and today's video is going to be about 12 benefits and or reasons for solo travel. If you watch my channel, you know that I am a solo traveler. I live full-time in my tiny little camper Gidget. But it didn't start, my solo travel didn't start when I got my Gidget. So I thought I would give you a few reasons, explanations, or whatever you want to call them. So stay tuned. So let's jump right into it. The number one reason that I travel solo, and this is not going to be a surprise, and in fact, it's probably the one that most people expect, and it's not in order, is that when you are a single person, you don't always have someone that's ready to go at the same time that you are. And I don't want to miss out on some of the cool places that I want to go just because I don't have somebody to go with me. My husband passed away back in 2014, and he didn't have a lot of regrets, but one that he had was that he didn't travel more. And I promised him that I was going to go to Peru and see Machu Picchu and kind of live my life with no regrets in that manner. So I did, as promised, take that trip to Peru by myself, kind of by myself. I went with one of the group travel agencies, but I didn't know any of the other 27 people, and I still had my own room and experienced things through a different lens, but it kind of was the catalyst that started me on exploring travel by myself. Okay, and the number two reason for solo travel is it's easier to plan and book. I can go on my schedule. I have a flexible job and have always had, and so I don't really like to travel on the weekends when things are the most crowded, when they're the most popular visit times. I like to go during the week, and that's not always easy for someone else planning to go on the trip with you. Also, budget. I can spend as little or as much as I want to spend. And that doesn't always line up with what someone else wants to do. So it's just easier to plan, easier to budget. And the number three reason for me is flexibility. The older I get, the more I am accepting of change, and I might decide to change my mind on a whim, or I might want to cancel something last minute just because, I found this other thing I want to do. And that's so much easier to do when you're by yourself. You know, if you're traveling with someone, they might want to have continued on those things, or they may not be as flexible or understanding of changes. Some people don't do well with change. So for me, it has been the flexibility 100%. The number four reason for me is I get to focus on my interests. I get to eat the kind of food that I want, immerse myself in the culture as much or as little as I want, kind of find the entertainment that I want to do. There's nothing wrong with having someone with you and trading off on the things that you want to do, but when you do solo travel, there is no compromise. Not everyone is interested in the same things that I'm interested in, so it does give you the ability, the freedom to do what you want, when you want, on your own schedule, and I really kind of like it. Number five reason for me, and this was one that I kind of had to learn along the way, was that when you travel solo, you are much more open to everything around you, the people around you, the locals, plus if there's any, like if you travel with a group tour, you're much more open to visit with those people. If someone is with you, you are more entrenched in the conversations that you guys have, and you're not as approachable. One of the things that I found is people are inevitably curious as to why someone travels by themselves, and they tend to want to include you a little bit more. You're much more approachable, and you know, I went to Dominican Republic last year, and I met these really nice people. They included me. We got to talking. They included me in their group, and they said, "Well, you're going to dinner with us tonight." And after visiting with them for a while, I had one of the guys say, "You know, I felt sorry for you at first that you were here by yourself, and I didn't want you to have to eat dinner by yourself." And then the more we talked, he said, "Now I want to be like you when I grew up, and that's cool that you go all these places, and I would love to be able to do something like that." So it is kind of funny that a lot of people think, "Oh, that's so sad, she's by herself." But traveling solo, I really have met more people than I would have otherwise, and I stay in touch with them. And so it's kind of cool to know people all over the world. I met quite a few people on that Peru trip that I am still in touch with today and absolutely adore. And the same with Mexico and Dominican Republic. So I really like it that I go there not knowing someone, because it makes me want to talk to others and to attach to the cultures and to find out what's going on all around. And you just pay more attention that way. Really love that. The number six reason is to challenge yourself. I can tell you that there is a great amount of confidence earned by, if anything goes wrong, it's up to me, and to learn that I'm capable of dealing with, you know, the logistics and the navigation of it all. And have I made mistakes? You betcha. But I have learned not to panic in certain situations and to really rely on myself. Would it be great to have somebody? Sure. But can I get myself out of a lot of things now that I never thought possible? You bet. Number 7 reason is to expand your comfort zone. Face your fears, if you will. A lot of people are uncomfortable being alone, and it's kind of scary to go someplace that you don't know what's going to happen and you don't have somebody to lean on. But it does force you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, and guys, it's really good for us to do that. It doesn't have to be traveling to Peru. I mean, you could go to a movie by yourself, or to dinner by yourself, or hiking by yourself, whatever that looks like for you. I think it's good for all of us to get out of our comfort zone now and then. It kind of pushes you, and I think it helps you to be your best self, or helps you on the road to being your best self. It also helps to overcome fears. I can't tell you how many people are terrified that I travel by myself. Often they'll project their fears onto me, and I have learned not to be afraid. Am I cautious? Yes. Am I aware of my surroundings? You bet. But I don't live in fear when I'm by myself all the time now. So just overcoming some of that stuff has been really rewarding for me, and highly recommend it. And the number 8 reason is there's really no distractions. You are, good and bad, alone with your thoughts. So it does kind of force you to have some reflection time. You can turn on the TV where you are and just kind of mindlessly drown it all out, but you don't have someone else there to have conversation with. You're having to come up with your own things. And I like to write, and I find myself writing a lot of, like I said, reflection time that you won't normally have, or maybe you don't stop to have, because we're always with other people. So for me, taking that little bit of time to just quiet the world and the chaos around me, and what am I really thinking about stuff? What do I really feel about things? For me, that has been fantastic. The number 9 reason that I like to travel solo is because it keeps you feeling and staying young. There are 3 wonderful ladies, probably a lot more than that, but Charla, Tookie, and Sue, these ladies are in their 70s and 80s, and they are out there seeing the world. These 3 ladies completely inspire me. And with all 3 of them, when I asked how old they were, I was very, very surprised. I aspired to be like them in my 70s and 80s and still be out there seeing the world by myself. And I do think traveling by yourself helps you to feel and stay young, because you are, number 1, being active, but number 2, it does help your mental clarity, your alertness, because you're by yourself. No one else is going behind you saying, now, you know, you're too old to do this, or you shouldn't do this, or whatever. Maybe we all do things that we shouldn't do at some time or another, but I'm just saying, I think it helps them, and it certainly helps me to keep both my body and my mind exercised so that I'm not getting old. Maybe the number is, but I'm not. Number 10 reason or benefit for solo travel is that it has really taught me to value solitude. Does it mean that I always want to be alone? I don't ever want to be with anybody? No, of course it doesn't mean that. But it has taught me to kind of slow down, and it does give me the opportunity to understand that the solitude is actually good for us sometimes. And sometimes the easiest way to quiet all the noise is to be by yourself, and you work through things. And I haven't always been this way, but it's not unusual to find me sitting at the edge of a canyon or staring out at the ocean. And if you were to ask me what I was thinking about, I could honestly say absolutely nothing. I am truly looking out at the place that I'm in and enjoying what I'm seeing. I don't have all this stuff filling my head. I don't have someone sitting beside me talking, and not that's not okay, but I'm just saying, for that moment, it allows me just to enjoy the quietness and the solitude and take in my surroundings. Love it. Number 11, I get to meet like-minded friends. Now, have I traveled the whole world like some people are world travelers? No, not yet. But in the travels that I've had, I've met so many cool ladies. I've been very surprised how many women are out there traveling solo by themselves. There's all these really cool women that are out there traveling by themselves. They're not letting life hold them back. When you meet someone that's like you, there's sort of an instant bond, and it's really fun having other people in my life that aren't afraid to do the things. and that maybe are a little more encouraging to get out there and travel by yourself more. So to the ladies out there doing this with me, love you guys. And the number 12 reason, and I almost hate to include this because we do live in a society right now that's all about me, 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 me. But I mean this in a different way. It's for, the number 12 reason is for me time. So the saying is that you cannot pour out of an empty cup. So if you take your sabbatical or your little solo trip, it gives you time to just kind of recharge and renew. Then you can get back to your regularly scheduled programming with your mind a little clearer, maybe your shoulders a little lighter, maybe a little more peace going on up here. So those are just a few of my reasons for traveling, reasons/benefits for traveling by myself. I personally think that everyone should try solo traveling at least once in their life. And I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe it is joining a group tour company and going somewhere by yourself, but within a group where the travel is already laid out for you and you have the safety of the group and the knowledge of your tour guides, but you're still operating independently, and you're still seeing all these cool things by yourself. Maybe that's it for you. Maybe you go camping. Maybe you take an overnight somewhere small. But I do recommend it for everyone to try just once in your life. Maybe you'll be hooked. Maybe you won't. If you do decide to solo travel, obviously you're not just going to throw safety to the wind. You still need to have situational awareness, probably more than you normally do. If you have the opportunity to separate yourself, especially if you're in a different country, but anytime, to separate yourself from technology for a little bit and from just your normal, comfortable contacts, it does give you an openness that you may not have known you had. For me, that certainly was the case. Solo traveling has really given me opportunity to find out things about myself that I never otherwise would have known. And I have seen some really cool things, met some really nice people, and been to some beautiful places that, guys, if I had sat around and waited for somebody to join me, I'd still be waiting. If you are already a solo traveler out there, good for you. If I have missed anything or there's something that you think is beneficial or that you love about solo travel, please make sure you put that in the comments. And for those of you who have never tried it, maybe you're afraid to try it, I promise you, you will learn from it one way or the other. You'll either never do it again, or you'll be hooked and you'll want that time. So I hope you've enjoyed the video and at least maybe consider traveling by yourself or continue to live vicariously through those who do. If you'd like to see more, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember to always enjoy those little things, and we'll see you next time.